All right, so get ready for a deep dive into the HTFL, the Happy Time Friendship League. It's a recreational hockey league where I think fun is definitely the name of the game.
For sure.
But don't let that fool you.
Right.
They're serious about their hockey, too.
Oh, yeah.
And their trophy.
Mm.
It's a giant stuffed pink bunny
What?
called the Stanley Bunny.
Wow. Okay, I love that.
So we've got game footage and stats from Season 2, Week 7 matchups.
Okay.
Yellow versus blue and green versus red.
All right.
But here's the twist.
Yeah.
In the HTFL, the goalies switch teams at halftime.
That's right. You might be wondering, what's the point of that? Well, it's all about keeping things fair and unpredictable. It means a team can't just coast on their goalie having an amazing night.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Let's start with yellow versus blue. The game summaries show this one was a real back-and-forth battle.
Absolutely. Yellow came out strong with Andrew Whitmore scoring just 30 seconds in, assisted by Mike Lagamba.
Wow.
But blue answered back quickly with a goal from Brian Manuel.
Sounds like both teams were kind of testing each other out early on, feeling out the opponent's strategies.
Exactly. And then we see this incredible defensive play from Blues goalie Josh Rangel.
Okay.
With a diving save that almost defies physics.
I bet those highlight reels are probably making the rounds on social media already.
For sure.
But Yellow managed to regain the lead with a goal from Chris Fowler.
Yep.
And then Mike Fitzgerald tied it up for Blue again. I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah.
Lots of back and forth, lots of momentum shifts.
You're picking up on a key element of the HTFL. That goalie swap really keeps things dynamic.
Yeah.
Just when you think one team has the upper hand, the game can change completely.
And that's exactly what happened at the end of the first period. Mike Lagamba, who already had an assist, snuck in a goal with just 7 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Left on the clock.
Wow.
Giving Yellow a 3-2 lead heading into the second.
Yeah.
Do you think that late goal might have had like a psychological impact on Blue?
It's certainly possible. Momentum is a powerful force in hockey. And that last second goal could have given Yellow a surge of confidence going into the next period.
Right.
And remember, Blue starting goalie is now going to be playing for Yellow.
Okay, so going into the second period, not only is the score close, but now the goalies have switched sides. Talk about a mind game.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Well, Chris Fowler, who scored for Yellow in the first, kept his hot streak going in the second.
Okay.
Scoring a beautiful backhanded goal after some impressive stick handling.
Nice.
That put Yellow up 4-2.
So Fowler was definitely a key player in this game.
Yeah.
But Blue wasn't giving up.
Nope.
They managed to capitalize on a power play
Right.
with Nick Finocchiaro scoring to bring them within 1 goal.
That power play goal is an interesting point.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if there's a connection between power play success and adapting to the goalie swap.
Okay.
Maybe teams that are good at capitalizing on power plays have an edge in the HTFL.
Right.
Because they can take advantage of those moments when the opposing team is still adjusting to the new goalie.
That's a really interesting observation. So going into the third period, Yellow is up 4-3, but they've just lost their hot goalie.
Right.
And Blue now has him.
Yeah.
This is where things could get really interesting.
For sure.
Did Yellow change up their strategy at all, knowing that their former goalie was now defending the other net?
From the game summary, it seems like Yellow decided to stick to their offensive game plan.
Okay.
Mike Lagamba, who seems to have a knack for scoring clutch goals, put one in just 10 seconds into the third period.
Oh, wow.
Extending Yellow's lead to 5-3.
Talk about starting the period with a bang. But Blue, now with Yellow's former goalie, is surely feeling more confident.
Oh, yeah.
And it showed. Blues and Mitchell Manning scored a goal to keep them in the game. But Yellow answered back with another goal from D.T. Peterson, giving them a 6-4 lead. So even with the goalie swap, Yellow is still managing to find the back of the net.
Right.
Did Blue make any adjustments to try to shut down Yellow's offense, or were they still finding their footing with the new goalie?
It's tough to say for sure without seeing the full game footage.
Yeah.
But one thing that stands out is that Yellow had 2 players with multi-goal games.
Right.
Lagamba with 4 and Fowler with 3.
Wow.
that kind of offensive depth can be tough to defend against, regardless of who's in net.
So perhaps spreading the scoring around is a good strategy in the HTFL.
For sure.
Especially when you factor in that goalie swap.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yep.
It keeps the opposing team guessing, and it doesn't put all the pressure on one player to carry the team offensively.
Exactly, and we see that offensive depth pay off again for Yellow.
Oh.
Chris Fowler, despite being tripped, managed to score another goal.
Wow.
Giving Yellow a commanding 7-4 lead.
Talk about perseverance.
Yeah.
But Blue wasn't done yet.
Nope.
They managed to score one more goal, this time from Jeff Vance, to make it 7-5.
Okay.
But with time running out, could they complete the comeback?
Unfortunately for Blue, Yellow's Mike Lagama, assisted by Fowler, sealed the deal with his 4th goal of the game.
Jeez.
A one-timer that left Blue's goalie with no chance.
Wow.
The final score.
Yeah.
Yellow 8, Blue 5.
Wow, what a game. But let's not forget about the goalies.
Right.
You mentioned earlier that the goalie swap adds another layer of complexity to the game. How do the goalies perform in this back-and-forth battle?
Well, considering all the goals scored, you might be surprised to hear that both goalies actually had some impressive stats.
Really?
Scott McNitt, who started for Yellow, ended up with 33 saves on 39 shots.
Okay.
And Josh Rangel, who started for Blue, had 26 saves on 33 shots.
Those are some pretty solid numbers, especially given all the offensive firepower we saw in this game. It makes you wonder how those stats might have looked if they hadn't swapped teams.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Yeah. Does the goalie swap actually lead to more goals?
All right, let's hold on to that thought for a moment because we've got another game to unpack. Green versus red.
All right.
This one had a completely different feel to it, didn't it?
It did indeed.
Yeah.
If Yellow versus Blue was a high-scoring shootout, Green versus Red was more like a strategic chess match.
Okay.
With both teams relying heavily on tight defense and stellar goaltending.
Okay, I'm ready for round 2.
All right.
Tell me, how did this goalie duel unfold?
Well, we'll get into the details of the game, but first let's set the stage.
Okay.
Both of these teams are known for their defensive prowess.
Right.
So, knowing the goalies will swap,
Mm-hmm.
do you think their game plan would be to protect your goalie as much as possible in the first half? Or do you think they'd still play aggressively?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a double-edged sword.
Right.
On the one hand, you want to protect your own goalie to keep the score low.
Right.
But on the other hand, you also want to test the opposing goalie as much as possible before he becomes your goalie.
Precisely. It's that added layer of strategy that makes the HTFL so fascinating.
Yeah.
So let's see how these two defensively minded teams approached this challenge.
Okay.
Right off the bat, Green scores a rather unusual goal.
Okay.
Gary Henley's shot takes a couple of lucky bounces off Red players and ends up in the back of the net.
Okay. So sometimes it's not just about skill.
Right.
It's about being in the right place at the right time, right? But did Red let that lucky bounce goal rattle them?
Not at all.
Yeah.
In fact, they answered back almost immediately with a goal of their own.
Okay.
Dustin Abernathy, known for his powerful shot, tied it up with a one-timer that left Green's goalie with no chance.
One-timers seem to be a popular weapon in the HTFL.
It seems that way.
It makes sense, though. They're so difficult to defend against.
Especially when they're executed with the kind of precision that Abernathy displayed.
Yeah.
It was clear Red wasn't going to let a lucky bounce derail their game plan.
So we're tied 1-1 early in the game.
Yep.
What happened next in this battle of defensive titans?
Well, we saw another rather fortunate bounce goal, this time for Green.
Ooh.
Nathan Henry's shot ricocheted off the backboards and into the net.
Oh, wow.
Giving Green a 2-1 lead.
Okay.
Sometimes those unpredictable bounces can make all the difference in a close game.
It seems like the hockey gods were smiling on Green in this game.
A little bit.
But Red wasn't about to back down.
Right.
Did they adjust their strategy at all after these two somewhat fluky goals?
They didn't seem to panic.
Okay.
They stuck to their game plan, focusing on tight defense and waiting for their opportunities. And it paid off when Tyler Higgins tied the game up at 2-2 with a well-executed play.
Okay, so we're halfway through the game. The score is tied, and both goalies are about to switch sides.
It's true.
This is where the real mental game begins, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Knowing your goalie is about to become the opposing goalie has to add a whole new level of pressure.
Right.
Do you play more defensively to protect him? Or do you go all out on offense knowing you'll have a fresh goalie in the second half?
It's such a unique dynamic. You're not just playing against the other team, you're almost playing against your own goalie in a way.
Exactly. And in this case, it seems like Red decided to take the offensive road.
Okay.
Shortly after the goalie swap, Kyle Stevens scored 2 goals in quick succession.
Wow.
Giving Red their first lead of the game, 4-2.
Talk about a momentum swing. Those back-to-back goals must have been a real punch in the gut for Green.
Oh, yeah.
Did they make any adjustments to try to counter Red's sudden offensive surge?
Well, remember, Green is also known for their strong defense. They didn't panic. They tightened things up in their own end, and they managed to limit Red's scoring chances for the rest of the game.
So even with their own goalie now playing for the other team,
Right.
Green's defense held strong, but were they able to generate any offense of their own?
They didn't give up.
Good.
With just 2 minutes left in the game,
Okay.
Billy Graham scored a fantastic goal for Green,
Okay.
redirecting a pass from a teammate right out of midair and into the net.
That sounds like an incredible play.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the game is back within reach for Green.
It is.
Down 4-3 with just minutes to play.
Uh-huh.
Could they complete the comeback and force overtime?
It was a nail-biting finish. But, unfortunately for Green, they couldn't find the equalizer. Red held on for the 4-3 victory. But the real story of this game was the goaltending.
Absolutely. Let's talk about those incredible performances in net.
Okay.
We already know the final score was low scoring, but what were the actual save percentages?
Green's Stephen Gady faced 37 shots and made 34 saves, giving him a save percentage of .919.
Wow.
And Red Saul Alvarado was even more impressive, stopping 42 out of 46 shots, good for a save percentage of .913.
Those are some seriously elite numbers. And remember, each goalie played half the game for each team.
Right.
It really makes you appreciate the skill and mental toughness it takes to be a goalie in the HTFL.
No doubt.
Yeah.
They're facing shots from both familiar and unfamiliar opponents.
Right.
And they know that their performance directly impacts both games.
This has been an amazing deep dive into 2 very different but equally exciting HTFL games. We've seen offensive explosions, defensive battles, and some truly remarkable goaltending.
It was awesome.
It was. The HTFL has a fantastic YouTube channel where they post all of their game footage. You can find them by searching for HTFL Hockey Club or at HTFL Hockey.
Perfect.
And for stats, standings, player profiles, and more, you can visit their website at thehtfl.net.
And of course, huge thanks to our sponsors. Silly Boys Hockey Club. Their website is www.sillyboys.com.
The best.
Superpuck at www.superpuck.net.
I love those guys.
Advanced Career Institute. Go to www.advanced.edu for more information.
Awesome.
And Fowler Productions Video Services. Their YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/HTFL Hockey.
This has been Riley Bardown
And Ollie Postanin. Until next time, keep your stick on the ice and your head in the game.